he's been, like you say, posting missing for quite some time. He suffered that horrible knee injury at Tannadice, April 2025, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's nearly the best part of 18 months, nearly, since he's been out. And he hasn't really been in and about Lennoxtown at all. He's been doing most, if not all, of his rehab over in Portugal and in Lisbon, where he's from. So we just kind of asked for an update from Martin about it, and he's confirmed that Jota will be returning to Lennoxtown on Monday. I don't think he'll be taking part in full training, but he will be out in the grass, and it's maybe another step forward for him. But he did make the point that I asked him about whether he can consider him as part of his first team plans this season. Is that kind of where does he sit with it? And he basically said, look, until he's fit, you just need to dismiss him from the squad at the minute because he has been out for so long. Mick and I were talking before the podcast, Dan. I mean, it's best part of 3 years since Jota's played consistently. In Saudi Arabia was bombed out, and then obviously he came back, played a couple of months for Celtic, and then he was injured again. He missed the entire last season. So it's Martin essentially is just ruling him out of his first team plans at the minute. So for example, Celtic will be in the market for a winger. Jota's situation is just like, I think he's just put to the side now. I think Celtic will still be targeting plenty of wide players. So he also said as well, asked him about whether the Halloween, that was the last update we had, if Halloween was going to be the time he'd be back, and he said it might be a wee bit earlier. It might not be. I think there'll be, once they see Jota out in the grass at Lennoxtown next week, they get a better idea of his fitness and his condition. They'll probably be in a better place to talk about that. But yeah, it's still going to be, I think it's still, by the sounds of it, it sounds as if it's still going to be a bit of a long road back. He's certainly not going to be featuring pre-season or at least the next 2-3 months anyway.
This Monday, I mean, coming back Monday, I know it's like he's coming back to kind of report back to Celtic. It's a big deal because I'm also at the point of thinking that this next week, when he comes back next week to be assessed and then see where he is in terms of his rehab, this might be kind of, I'm not saying make a break, but this might be the deciding week where we find out, can he come back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, for a year, the question has been, when's he coming back? I think now the question is now shifted to, can he come back? I mean, it sounds dramatic, but this guy's not played for 18 months. As Ryan said, with a handful of games in 18 months before that. So he's 3 years of his... And by the way, this is meant to be his prime of his career. He's got 26, 27.
27,
played basically 3 years out of the game. I mean, he's had multiple surgeries now. It's not been a straightforward recovery from this injury. So the question is now is no longer when is he coming back. The question is now is can he come back? And I think that is a question. It won't be answered in the short term, but it's a question that's going to hang. I think there's now serious doubts because you're now talking about maybe Halloween as a point of reference, but it's very vague, very, very vague. Maybe Halloween, maybe before that, maybe not. He's going to have to get back on the grass, get back training, do a couple of months of training, play some games. He may have to go on loan somewhere and get some games.
I was going to ask that.
If he comes back in say October, when you've got potential Champions League or Europa League, you've got League Cup semi-finals, finals. The league campaign is right into the meat and bones of the league campaign. You're not going to drop him back into that environment. So it could be a loan spell somewhere. It could be anything. There's major question marks over the future of Jota. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is at the moment.
You took the words out my mouth there, Nick. I was going to say about potentially even a January loan, because even if he's technically fit, say November, December time, as you guys have pointed out, the best part of 3 seasons without playing football, how long is it going to take him to get up to speed where he's actually going to contribute to the level that Celtic know or hope he still can?
That's fine. You forget as well, Celtic paid £8 million to bring him back, and I assume he'll be one of the top earners considering what he was on at Saudi as well. So Mick's right. I think there's big question marks as to. It's a shame because he is such a. I mean, on his day, he's probably the most exciting player in Scotland, isn't he? He's such a massive talent. He's been such a massive loss for Celtic as well. But I always think back to John Kennedy had that horror injury as well, and how long he was out. Martin was obviously in charge during that period as well. And I know John managed to keep going for another 4 or 5 years, but he was never the same player. And that's the biggest question as well. Was Jota going to come back the same player? As I said, he's not really played at all in the last 3 years, and you know, I know he made obviously a lot of money in Saudi as well, so he maybe question his, you know, his appetite if he's still got that hunger and desire that he did in his first spell at Celtic. So there's just so many question marks, and you know, I'm sure he'll be a major boost to the squad if he does come back. But there's a big if at the minute.
The flip side is, Dan, obviously, if he gets back, gets to level of fitness, plays half a dozen B team games or whatever, and finds that he is getting back to level, you're almost at the point now. It's also a bonus now. I think if you can get a fully fit Jota in January, who's available week in week out, it's almost like he's, like you say, Martin was almost going to say, well, I'm not really thinking about him anymore because he's been there for so long. So it would almost be a bonus now that an added bonus if he gets back and fit again. I think, but no one can assume that's going to be the case. So it's not going to be a straightforward path. And you know what's like when you come back to these injuries, it's going to pick up wee niggles. He's going to get this. This could be a season that's, I'm not saying a whole write off, but if he can get back, it's not going to be a straightforward process. So if they can get some kind of function in Jota by the second half of the season, then it's a bonus.